Namaste, my dear friends. Meditation is called a little death, a 10 minutes, a 15 minutes. We have to forget about everybody, everything, that you are a body. Just you have to be with yourself. It's a great blessing that we all know about meditation. It's a great blessing we are able to do meditation. Ignore your thoughts. In the initial days, you may experience ups and downs, here and there, a lot of thoughts, but that should not bother you. There are lakhs and lakhs of meditators who got transcended from a state where they had a lot of thoughts to a greater heights of meditation. You have to be a scientist, you have to experiment every day. There is nothing like today I was not able to meditate properly. There is nothing like my meditation is not good. There is nothing like improper meditation or meditation is not good. You are closing your eyes, you are locking your hands and legs, you are observing your breath. At 10 or 15 minutes, the energy inside you is circulating. It is not going out. You have saved so much of energy. And for even a minute second, for minutest second, if your mind is empty, huge amount of energy goes into your system. So it's a great advantage by doing meditation that you save your energy first and also you gain energy. This is like people do power naps, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. All the very successful people, they know the power of the power nap. In the office or at the factories or at the workplace, they go for a power nap 10 minutes. Then they become very fresh. But the only problem in the sleep is, even in the sleep the mind works. But in meditation, it is higher than the power nap. Because you are able to turn off your mind and be able to give a lot of energy to the body system. You have to ensure from the beginning of the day to the end of the day, you are always energetic. Like children, their mind is not yet developed. Like animals and plants, they are always happy wherever they are. Because there is no mind. So children, there is no mind, so they are always happy. They are always energetic throughout the day. But when we grow up, the mind grows, the worry starts, a lot of thinking. Then two things starts. One is the needs and the desires. Let us first understand what is needs. Need is for the body. And what is desire? Desire is for the mind. Needs. What are the needs? For your body. You must get good food. You must get fresh air. You must have a good shelter. You must have a good kapda, good clothes. Then you must have essentials of life. Right now in this lockdown period, everything is only essentials. People are only bothered about the needs because you cannot step out of the house. All the desires you can achieve by stepping out of the house. Of course, there are few desires. You can even get it by sitting in the house. But majorly, now the entire world is now in the needs. There is no desires. In fact, the needs are better fulfilled because of this lockdown. We are able to eat home food. The whole nature has healed itself because all the factories are shut down. There is a fresh air. We are able to breathe. We are able to see more stars on the sky. The stars are not started appearing. We are able to see because there is no pollution. We are able to enjoy more sounds of the birds. You are able to see the whole earth is healing itself. You are able to have a peaceful life, but the things will change very soon. So the needs are for the body. If you ignore your needs, then your body will not cooperate with you. It must be given good rest, good amount of sleep, right amount of food, lot of water, because this whole body is made up of 80% water. For the kids, it's 80 to 90%. For the adults, it is 60 to 70%. We are just nothing but water. You have to provide good amount of water. You have to have a lot of seasonal and natural fruits and foods. At the same time, you have to take care of your mind. No gossips, no thoughts unnecessarily. You have to learn to live happily every moment, whatsoever it may be, at any cost. Your happiness should not depend on others or other situations. If your happiness is depending on some other external factor, then you are a prisoner. You are not a freedom guy. You are a prisoner. Over the years, lot of thoughts accumulate, and then it becomes a desire. Needs are very simple, friends. Needs are very simple. My Guruji always says, we just need one roti and small pickle, that's enough. It's very true. Desires are sometimes ugly. If you don't plan properly and if you don't understand desires properly, it will totally ruin your life. Nothing wrong in luxuries. Nothing wrong in having more money. But if your happiness is depending on that, then it is absolutely wrong. Your happiness should not be hindered by anything else. If you have a desire, so be it. Have a strong desire. But with an empty mind, you should have a desire. You can have affirmations every day that you want to become the richest person in the world, or you want to make a great business deal this month, or you want a very good job, or there should be a lot of harmony in the family, there should be a lot of health in the family. But after that affirmations for 2 minutes or 5 minutes in a day, only focused on that, after that you just forget it. Don't write like Sri Rama Raksha, no? You don't keep on writing your desires for 1,000 times, 10,000 times in a day. Not needed. Must have focused desires. Once, twice, thrice, finish. I have a small organ pyramid. Whenever I see that, I remember what I want, my only one goal. And later I forget, because I already stored my thought in a crystal. And I already spelled it once in a day. That's enough. Rest of the day, you just have to flow. Just have to flow with the nature. I start to office. Suddenly I get a call. I change my direction. I go and meet a business guy. Sometimes I'll spend whole day there, or sometimes I go to office. I may leave early, I may stay late. I don't have anything fixed. I'll plan every day, but sometimes the plan will be totally opposite. But it is very wrong if I don't start with a plan. I'll allow the nature to take its shape. Be flexible. I have 24 hours in a day. Just imagine, we all have 24 hours in a day. How much we can do. So basic needs of the body has to be taken care. You have to give pleasure to the body. Be in samsara. Don't ignore any pleasures. If you want to eat nice food, go ahead and eat. Prepare it freshly and eat. All your basic needs of the body has to be taken care. You have to keep the body clean. So as every day you must meditate. That is also a basic need of the body. Your body requires highly charge because your mind is eating away all the energy. So when you do meditation, you are reducing the activities of the mind. You are increasing the energies of the body. So as you are always energetic. You have to increase the time of meditation. If you are unable to sit for longer durations of meditation, you must use pyramid energies. You must use the crystal energies. You must use the music. I have not heard from at least one person in my entire life saying that they are not able to sit 3 hours for a movie. Everybody is happily sitting 3 hours in a movie without moving. And in our school days, we used to sit for 5 hours, 6 hours in a classroom. And in the corporate offices or any government office, we are able to sit there for 8 hours, 9 hours. Why we are not able to sit in meditation, my friends? Why you are struggling for 20-30 minutes? Why? Because you must have a strong desire to sit. There is a girl, day before yesterday, she sat in meditation for 12 hours. Because that desire she had for a very long time. So she got the right time. Everything is locked down. Lockdown, nothing to talk with anybody. So she decided, I am going to sit today 12 hours, switch off the phone. Get lost of the world. Just inform the near and dear, don't disturb me. I am going for deeper meditation 12 hours. Whatever it is after 12 hours. She sat. Of course, I understand there's a lot of responsibilities everyone have. You have to take care of your kids. You have to cook. You have work from home options. You have so many things, but you have to find time for yourself. Nobody is going to come and tell, hey, do meditation from this time to this time, now you are free. Nobody is going to tell you. In the spiritual life, everybody is entrepreneurs. Nobody is going to force you. No, there is no boss in spirituality. You are your own boss. So, body, the mind, and the intellect and the soul needs meditation, needs energy, needs knowledge, needs music. Those are not desires, those are needs. Your soul is crying inside. It needs to get out of the body. It needs to go to the higher world. It needs to learn. It has a purpose. It has a hidden agenda. You have to support it. If you don't support, who is going to support? So you have to take care of the needs first. And then you have to take care of the needs of the people around you. You have to first fulfill your needs. Don't ignore yourself. A few people, they don't take care of themselves. They are all time, they give everything to everybody, and then finally they damage their whole body. Rather, you take care of yourself first. 30 minutes, 1 hour in a day. Right bath, right food, right sleep, right meditation. 1 hour or 2 hours in the 24 hours, you take care of yourself. Next 22 hours, you start giving to others. There's a great joy you get when you give, when you go and fulfill first your needs and then other needs. Never ever try to fulfill others' desires, because our own desires, there's a big pending of list. Don't think about others' desire. Others' needs, yes, you must take care. The nearby, immediate circle, when there is some need, you have to go and address it. But first you have to take care of yourself. If you stand strong, if you stand still, you can do a lot. You can live 20 or 30 more years. Then you can do more service, you can be more happy. Until the last breath, you don't need to depend on anybody. You can do your works. No dependency, no bedridden, depending on others, no. No doctors, no medicines. You can take care of yourself. If you take care of your body, mind and soul, the basic needs until the last breath, that will take care of you. And when it comes to the desires, it comes from the mind. If you see, most of the desires, I can say 99.99%, it is not born from you. You have either read in a magazine article, or you have seen your neighbor, or your friend, your uncle, or you heard in some audio, you saw in some video. They might have bought a new house, new car, or somebody has opened their third eye. Somebody got promotion. Somebody won a lottery. Somebody went to overseas. Somebody bought gold, platinum. And then immediately a desire starts in you. I want that. Is that yours? No problem. You can have the desire. But that desire you can have when the mind is empty. So that your mind is empty, you are always in joyful state. You have that desire, but that desire is not affecting you. There is a small story. There's a very rich person. He had lot of gold. He has lot of farms. And yet he is always in sorrow. He went out one day. He saw a farmer happily doing the farming work. At the end of the day, he went to his house. His wife and kids, they got good harvest. Yet their life is very simple. Only they take care of the needs and they are happy. There is no desire for that fellow. And that rich man asked his manager, "Arey Baba, I have tons of gold. I have acres of land. But yet there is no happiness inside me. That fellow don't have anything, yet he is very, very happy. What is the difference? How can I be more happy?" So the manager said, "You have to give. Whatever you have, when you start giving, then you become more happy. Because you have more than what you need. And because of your desire, you are holding, you are attached to it. Always fearful that somebody will come and take it away. It can be your own brother. It can be your close friend. It can be unknown person. It can be your worker, someone. You are afraid that they may take away and run away. Or that desire, that attachment towards certain objects will never make you happily sleep. You are always worried, afraid." Then the manager said, "This is what is truth." The rich man did not understand. He said, "What are you talking? These are all the needs. It's not desire." The manager said, "I'll teach you one lesson, practical lesson. Then you will understand what is the difference between need and desire. The rich fellow said, okay, what do you want me to see? He said, give me a gold coin. The rich fellow said, are you joking? He said, no, just give me one bag of gold coins. He said, okay, if there is something worth you are teaching me, I don't mind. I have tons of gold. The bag has 100 coins. He gave to the manager. The manager opened the bag and gave back the owner one coin. The owner said, why are you giving this back to me? He said, wait, there is a trick in this. And these 99 gold coins he ties, and at the late night this manager goes to the house of the farmer, keeps the bag of 99 coins in front of the door, and he comes out quietly. And then after 3 days he tells the rich man, now you go and see the farmer. He said, okay. From a distance the rich man started looking into the farmer. The farmer is worried. The farmer is more restless. He is not happy. He is not enjoying. And every time he is counting the coins. And he asked the manager, what is happening? Why he is not happy now? The manager said, that farmer was living with the needs. He was very, very happy. But the moment we kept 99 coins, the first day he was very happy that he found out lot of gold, 99 coins. But immediately a desire started that he wants 100th coin. So there is a completion. So immediately his focus shifted towards earning that one extra coin so that he will have 100 coins. So then whatever he is doing, he forgot his basic needs because the desire has overtaken his needs. He is farming, but yet he started thinking, this will not earn me gold. He is spending time with his family, yet there is some desire saying, this will not earn me that one extra gold. He is talking to his friends, but immediately getting a thought, I am wasting time here, I will not get that one gold. See this? He was happy until he don't have anything. But when he had 99, he is running behind 100. But if he gets 100, then he wants 1000. He gets 1000, he wants 1 lakh. 1 lakh, then 1 crore. There is never a full stop. No problem. You can have all the desires, all the luxuries. But if it is going to alter your happiness, then what is the point in it? Anyway, your health is going to get screwed up. Then the rich man understood. And he went to the farmer and said, take this extra 1 coin. The farmer said, who are you? He said, I am very sorry for ruining your life for 3 days. I kept that 99 coins here. Then the farmer said, please take back your 99 coins. Baba, I lost all my happiness. Now I was so attached to that gold. Let me have a needful life. So needs and desires. First fulfill your needs, and then in the immediate circle, whatever other needs, extend your help. That's what the government says today. Go ahead and help the poor. Whatever you can, do it. I am doing a small campaigning for Pyramid Valley. There are a lot of people who with the families. They are all time there, teaching meditation to whoever comes. That's a huge pyramid in Bangalore, 160 feet. I have done so much meditation there. It has helped me to open my third eye and give lot of astral travel experiences. Now, at this point of time, there is no revenue there. And I have to take care of that place. It's not because someone asked me to do it. That pyramid has helped me a lot in the past. It is now my turn to help it. So I am doing a small campaign for people to support funds, whatever it is. It can be 100 rupees. It can be 1 crore, whatever it is. That pyramid has to be there. The basic cleaning and basic things has to be taken care, and needs, not desires. So I have a choice where to help. When I saw that is the place where I need to help, so I extended my help by doing a small campaign. I have a lot of goals in my life. I have a very big list of goals, but right now I am focusing on only one of my goals. But it may take 1 week or 1 month or 1 year for me to achieve it, but that is not altering my happiness. That is not altering my enjoyment, because I want that, but I am not attached to it. Who gave me this? My meditation. I am with everybody, yet I am not attached with anybody. I have many things, but yet I am not attached with anything. I remember the first day I bought a i10 sports car. The first day I was taking to the office with less than 1 kilometer. The previous guy immediately came back with his car and he put a dent on my car. I saw a big sound. Then I saw, I didn't even get out of the car. I saw there's a dent. That guy was looking at me. What I will say? I just kept quiet and said, it's okay. And he went away. Then I went to the office and then I came back home. I kept the car. Then after, in the evening, I saw what happened. A small dent there. I said, it's okay. It's my car, but I am not attached to it. He's a taxi fellow. He is earning his bread and butter daily. I don't want to go and fight with him. Anyway, I cannot win. Nobody can win. You know that. Why create a big scene for a small amount of dent? It's an old car anyway, you will not bother. So when you are attached with something, you have that fear. When you are attached with something, your joy is ruined. When you are attached with something, your happiness is gone. You can have any amount of desires, you can have any amounts of goal, but yet you are not attached with anything. It means the end result, you have Himalayan amount of patience. It will happen. There is nothing like this will not happen. It will happen. But when, it all depends on multiple factors. On multiple factors, it depends. So you have to have patience. And your happiness should not be altered by it. I know one guy called Santosh who worked with me when I was working with Infosys. For 1 year, he was just focusing and he used to always tell me, hey man, I want to become manager this year. I said, good. He asked me, do you want to become? I said, no, Baba. For the client, anyway, I am a manager, but as per the roles, I am a lead, I am happy. He said, no, you should have a goal. I said, I have my goal. I'll do my work. If I am promoted, I'll be happy. If I am not promoted also, I'll be happy. He didn't understand. So, that whole year, around 200 days we worked. Every day, he was every day he was trying something to impress the management. He was initiating something new, he was trying to deliver, he was trying to please the managers, he was trying to please the client, he wrote some documents, few things was unnecessary, he made up something, all because he wants to become a manager. 1 year over. And during the increment time, he was not promoted. He wrote some 3 examinations, he cleared, he was not promoted. And he came to me and said, I did a big mistake. I said, what happened? He said, 1 year I totally sacrificed everything. I was never happy. I was focused on becoming a manager. I tried to impress all the managers, the clients. But finally, they did not promote me. He said, what a partiality. I said, remember Santosh, instead of trying to impress others, if you have focused on your work, they would have naturally promoted you. You have wasted 1 year, your entire health is gone because all the time you are worried whether they will not promote you. And the whole year he was only worrying because he had the desire to become manager. Why? Because somebody has become manager, he wants to become manager. So that whole year he ruined. So it is his conscious choice. And I'll tell you one more incident. Me and my colleague, he used to sit in office every day for 14-16 hours on work. I go to office, I sit for 9-10 hours, I finish my work. He extends 4 hours extra. I used to tell, don't you have any other work? Can't you plan your work properly in 10 hours? He said, no, I want more increment. I want to increment more money so that I want more promotions. I want to work for extra hours. He didn't have good sleep, no socializing, no sports, no proper rest, all the time sitting in the office. He worked for 1 year continuously. At the end of the year, there was a recession outside. My manager called me and said, there's a huge recession, so we can't give a good increment this year. I said, fine, what is that you are going to offer? He said, we can give you only 8%. I said, fine. Then the manager told me, you are the only guy in my life I met who never says anything. When I promote you, you did not give any expression. When I am giving only single digit, you are not giving me any expression. He said, how is it possible? I said, if I am happy, I am here. If I am not happy, I will search for another job. What is the point in arguing? If I argue anyway, you are not going to increase. So I will not waste my energy. But the guy who sits for 14 hours every day, he got 9% increment. So only 1% is the difference between him and me. So he sacrificed whole year just to get that 1%. Way back our salaries were around 40,000. So 40,000 mein 1%, you just imagine. 400 rupees extra I got. So he wasted this whole life for 1 year just for increment more than me, 400 rupees. In that again 30% income tax will take up. So finally he got 250 rupees extra. For that whole year he wasted. When you plan properly, you must understand, in the business if you put more hours, you will get more profits. But when you are working somewhere, you want to contribute more and more. Finally, because of that desire, if he is really enjoying the work that 14 hours without any problem, then you would have enjoyed. But he had that desire, he sacrificed that whole year's happiness is gone, health is gone. No friends, everybody left him. Finally, he got only that monthly 250 rupees. But that did not give him happiness. So he quit the job, again went somewhere. That's a different story. The reason why I told you these two stories in my own life is, you can have desire, but you are too much attached to it. You will see hell out of it. You must be always in cloud 9, heaven, with desires. That is the right way to live. You have to first take care of your body, good exercise, good food, right amount of air, right amount of sunlight, right water, right thoughts. Unnecessary nothing should go in. You should meditate. These are the needs. And if you have any desires, be strong in it. But don't crave. Your desire should not be craving. It should not hinder your happiness. Then one day you will achieve it. And it should give from happy to more happy, not from sorrow to happy. Okay. So this is the fundamentals of the difference between the desires and the needs. Hope I have conveyed what I know about desires. Thank you very much. Have a great day.